So I'm going to share my screen with you. There it is. And we're looking at the short I again. Once again, not in isolation. These are called minimum pairs. I have a whole set of cards, a series of cards called minimum pairs. So I thought I would borrow from that series to look at the short I again, but this time in relationship to the long E. This is especially difficult. I've seen it because I lived in Latin America for a while. And I saw that people could not easily distinguish those two sounds. E, B's, it, biz, it. And as I said in one video, that can be problematic. First place, I'm thinking you're saying one thing versus another. And also there are two words that contain the short I. No, that contain the long E, but people pronounce them as if they were spelt with the short I. And it's not, look at that, you can see the difference is not that strong. The long E is the lowercase I. And you know, if you look at the Spanish alphabet, no, the vowels, A, E. No, yeah, the A, E. And the I in Spanish, and I wouldn't be surprised. No, in fact, I know in other Latin-based languages, it's the I-A-E. It's the E sound. So I pay special attention here because you might think you're saying sheet, like a sheet of paper, or sheep, like the animal, where you're actually saying, let me use sheep instead of sheet, you're actually saying ship. No, you might think you're saying ship. Excuse me, it's just the opposite. Yeah, you might think you're saying one sound, but in reality, you're saying another. So that can be very problematic when you're looking at the difference between the S-E-E-T versus the S-H-E-E-T versus the S-H-I-T. And you don't know why people are laughing. Or the B-E-A-C-H or B-E-E-C-H versus the B-I-T-C-H. I used to live in Santa Barbara. And when I used to go to work, I was an interpreter. When I used to go to work, sometimes I'd have to go down the Pacific Highway. So you would have this highway, and on the other side of one side of the highway was greenery and mountains and things, or rocks or hills or whatever. And on the other side was the ocean, and you would see these billboards. So there was one billboard that I loved. I remember I saw it, and I didn't almost crash. I'm not the best driver, but I looked up and I went, oh my God. And it says, life is a beach. Now, this was a billboard on the beach. Life is a beach, right? But everybody knew that the actual expression was life is a B-I-T-C-H. That's the actual expression. People say that all the time, but that's vulgar. I think it's acceptable in a lot of places now, but it's vulgar. So that's the minimum pair. It's a play on words. Everybody know what you're saying. Like when you say shoot instead of the other word. Okay, so let's look at it. Enough explanation. So you have the long E, notice the I, phonetic spelling, and the short I, notice the uppercase I. So these are the pronunciation. Bees, biz. Another distinction of these two words is that even though one ends in S, the letter S, and the other ends in the letter Z, the truth of the matter is they both end with the Z sound. You don't say bees, you say bees. That S is pronounced like a Z. And biz, which is show biz, which is short and informal for show business, and the sound matches the actual letter Z. And there are a lot of letters like this in English. You write one letter, but you make another sound. Bead, bid. Bean, bin. And I have to be careful sometimes when I'm pronouncing these words, because sometimes depending, I guess, where my tongue is and my teeth and all that, I make a mistake. And it's my language. This is the one I was telling you about, beech, and for reasons of teaching, I would pronounce the word bitch. And I have in here in parentheses, it's considered vulgar. The bitch one, not the beach one. Beam, bim. Beat, bit. Beaty, bitty. It used to be when you wanted to insult a woman, especially an older woman, you would call her an old biddy. I don't hear that anymore. Beach, once again, the vulgar B-I-T-C-H. But this is another beach. This is not the beach where you have the ocean. This is a tree, beech tree. Beef, biff. Biff is a name. I think Return to the Future, the person, the antagonist his name was Biff, or his nickname was Biff. British English, Ben. In American English, we pronounce it almost the same. They make a distinction. I can't Ben. But nobody says Ben. We almost pronounce it exactly the same, Ben. But that's pronunciation, and it's an incorrect pronunciation. Well, it's American English, so there is no Academy of the English Language, so beat, bit. Once again, it's not the same beat as B-E-A-T. That's to hit someone repeatedly. This is a vegetable. In Spanish, I think it would be betabel. Beak, bick. Beak was a pen. And the beak is what a bird has, the hard part around the nose, the beak. Bleaks, blitz. Bleep, blip. Cheap, chip. Cheek, chick. Chick is a name that a lot of women find offensive. You know, that's a chick, a woman. A lot of women find that very offensive. Not all, but some. Cheek, chick. Now it's the same pronunciation as C without the K, but a chick is a baby chicken. Cleek, click. Crease, Chris. Crease, Chris. But C-R-I-S-S, the other one was Chris, the name. Creek, crick. You have a crick in your neck. And that I think I said creek, like yeah, creek. Cream, creme. Creek, crick. A little bit of a repetition there. Creep, crip. Chris, Chris. Chris, Chris. Chris, Chris. Deal, dill. Deed, did. Dean, den. I want to go back. Okay. Creek, crick, creep, crip. These are mistakes. I beg your pardon. Chris, Chris, because they're the same pronunciation. And Chris, Chris, mistakes. Deal, deal, dill, like dill pickle. I'm repeating myself a little bit here. Deed, did. Dean, din. Deep, dip. I hope you can hear the difference. It's very subtle, very nuanced, very subtle, but it's a very important difference. Each, itch. Each, itch. Ease, is. I cannot tell you how many times this word, these two words are mispronounced for each other, mispronounced. Also, a lot of Americans will, instead of having the S in the word, they will put the Z. They will say ease, E-A-Z-E, and it's E-A-S-E. The S has the Z sound, but it's not the Z. And it's incorrect if you put it. You know, is. When you're speaking slang and when you're writing slang and you're writing, let's say, a direct message, a lot of people will spell is, I-Z, instead of I-S. Okay. Eat, it. And once again, I can't count how many times I've heard, especially Spanish speakers, native Spanish speakers, mix these two sounds. Feel, fill. I have to be very careful when I pronounce these two words because I will pronounce feel. I will pronounce it incorrectly. Feast, fist. You can see how closely, and you can see how carefully I'm trying to pronounce, how carefully I am pronouncing the words, because you can, especially when you're speaking quickly, mistake one for the other. Feet, fit. This is feet, F-E-A-T. Fees, fizz. Fees. Now here the S is pronounced like an S, and the Z obviously is pronounced. The Z is never pronounced like the S. The Z is always pronounced like the Z. Fizz. Now here it is. This is the F-E-E-T, the thing you walk on, the two things you walk on your body, feet. 1 foot, 2 feet, never foots, never. That's incorrect English. Feet, fit. Field, filled. I have to really make a distinction, and I don't know if you can hear it. Field, filled. fleet, flit, freeze, freeze, fridge. Now, here you have the DGE. That's a soft sound. I have a lot of cards on soft sounds in English, where you have a letter blending or a group of letters or two or three letters together, diphthong or triphthong or quadphthong or whatever, and they make one sound. So this fridge is considered a soft sound, DGE. That D is not pronounced D at all. Oops. Gene, this is the name of a male, Gene, Jen. Gene has a lot of spellings to them. This spelling was the spelling that a very famous actor in the 1920s and 30s and 40s, and maybe even up to the 50s, Gene Kelly, very famous dancer. He appropriated a lot of dances from the African-American community, however, or the Black community, if you prefer. Greed, grid. Green, grin. Grief, griff. Heap, hip. Heel, hill. Frankly, if I'm just speaking normally, I pronounce these two words the same. I don't know why, but I'm speaking carefully, I don't. Heel, the heel of your foot, and hill. He's, his. He'd, he would, or he had, he'd, hid. That's a contraction. Heat, hit. All right. Oh, I'm starting off with the short O and long O. No, not right now. I'll do that in the next series, in the next video. Okay, and we're back to bees, biz. Okay, so let's look at it. The short I, you looked at it in isolation, but you also can look at it in relationship to other sounds. And you can see where it can get sticky in pronouncing the short I, especially when it comes to the long E. It's not a problem so much for all speakers of Latin-based languages. I didn't see that much of a problem with French speakers or Portuguese speakers, but Spanish speakers I did. I've never really taught, yes, I did. I taught Italians. I taught Italians 2 years ago at Fordham University. But their training in English was excellent, excellent. I could have a regular conversation. We didn't look at pronunciation at all. I had the level in which we could have a conversation. And I didn't see it with them either. So this is Coralla Ficklin McLean at Welcome, WYLCOME, welcome.com. And please pass the word around that I have cards. This would be especially helpful for anyone who not just learning English, but want to teach English. And they don't know how to break the language up in segments so you can teach the language, but also understand why certain things are the way they are and why are why is pronunciation, or why can pronunciation be confusing? A lot of times it all depends on what language you're coming from. For example, in some Asian language, the L and the R can be very problematic. It's like there's certain pronunciations in Spanish, that's my second language, that English speakers don't make easily. It took me a long time to do. It took a long time of looking in the mirror and not looking in the mirror and just going or enye or aye. You know, those pronunciations were not easy either. Okay, Coralla Ficklin, McLean, welcome, WYLCOME.com. I would appreciate if you would tell everyone about my channel, if you would subscribe to my channel, and so I can get 1 million views so I can start living off of my skills instead of having to work and then to do this on the side, but to live off of it. I would appreciate, you know, more people subscribe, the more that becomes a possibility. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to say thank you very much and I wish you a good day. Bye-bye.